Hey everybody, it's Chris from Learn Online Security. Today we're going to talk about the most common and dangerous attack that there is. Today we're going to talk about an attack that is so common, become everyday practice. People talk about it, people warn each other about it, but there's really very, very limited defenses, and it's called the out of office attack. How it starts is somebody establishes that an individual is away from home, work, school, and they take on a position of authority. And sometimes the authority is a reversed authority. Um, Somebody finds out that you're out of office and you're the boss. So now they take advantage of that fact. So, what happens in these attacks, especially the reversed version of the attack, is somebody actually poses as an underling going, hey, we suddenly have an emergency. We need for this thing that you signed off on, be it a donation, company party, company reward, company whatever, we need a gift. Um, can you forward the funds for picking up, or can you pick up a Visa, a game card, iTunes, gift card of any sort, any denomination, any value? And this is backwards to normally how the way the scam runs. And everybody goes, well, how does everybody know that the boss is out of office? Well, AI has started to enter into this hack and this attack. An AI has a list of emails and it sends out an unsolicited email. And what it does is it scans through the results looking for that message, I'm out of office reply. Sorry, unavailable, out of office. And as soon as he collects a list of them, they go to their master sheet and say, okay, Frank is the CEO of Frank's Widgets. And his subordinates are Pamela, Brian, and Michael. Pamela works directly with him and knows that he's out of office. So I'm going to turn around and probe Pamela next to find out where he's out of town. So I'll phone and ask for him, and usually that information is given up voluntarily. Oh, he's in Brandon, he's in Victoria, he's in Louisiana, he's somewhere. So now I have the information to pick on one of the other subordinates, or one of the other subordinates that may have been assigned a task. I now say, hey, I know, Frank, that you're here, but we offered to sponsor XYZ. We need a $50 gift certificate. $50 doesn't sound like much, but I run this scam over a whole pile of businesses. $50 by 10 is $500. 70% of IT specialists do not sit at their desks. They're in the field somewhere all the time. And of that percentage, most of them will not respond to an email unless you're directly involved in what they're doing until they have time to respond to it. It's something that we are taught. We're taught that an email is a suggestion of something that needs to be done or a reminder. We focus on what we're doing. You need to take that piece of advice and bring it forward into what you're doing with your day-to-day work. If you're communicating with your staff via email for matters that are urgent, you're creating a wedge for somebody to get in and attack you. Because when you're not available, or they're not available, that email now can be spoofed and they can go on and they can get on to attacking you. And you have no defense because you've prioritized your emails as your primary form of communication. And the argument for I get it is I want everything in writing so it can't be disputed. employees in society have been trained to respect authority. So the more authority you project, the less they are to push against you. That's societal training. If you take your time with your staff, you put policies in place that they have to follow, regardless of if you're the authority, they should have the right to question you that you are the authority so you can prove yourself. I know an individual that this happened to a prominent business in Calgary. The individual went out skiing for the weekend, and she literally had been talking to her boss 10 minutes before she stepped off the chairlift. And he said to her, "Have a great weekend. I'll text you if there's something I need, but otherwise enjoy yourself." And she got off the ski lift, and shortly afterwards, she gets this text. Yeah, we have this big event coming up. We're going to need 50 $100 gift certificates as part of the promotion. Can you pick them up for me, please? And she turned around, she says, "I don't have access." Like, she texted back, "I don't have access to corporate card right now. Can you transfer me the money?" And LOL came back on her text and said, "Both of us are up. I'm skiing the next mountain range over. I don't have access to the corporate stuff from here. Can you throw it on your credit card?" She picked up the phone and phoned her boss. So the attacker right now thinks that she's getting on this thing. And while she's talking to the boss, the attacker then turned around and put an email in and said, "Yeah, drop them at my house. This is the address." And because she was talking to her boss at the time, and her boss is like, "No, I told you to have a good weekend." She told her what was going on. She goes, "I got an address." And he goes, "Okay, we'll contact the authorities." They called the authorities. The authorities launched a sting, and they caught 4 people. We need to build time to protect ourselves. Think back 1950 sales, door-to-door salesman. Shows up your door, jumping on a cigar. "If I got a deal for you, you have to act now." It's a pressure tactic. The more time that he has to spend to make the sale, the more less likely he is to make the sale. The more time I have to make an attack, I take to make an attack, the less likely the attack will be successful. And we always harp on this. You need to give yourself time to think. If you shorten your attacker's time, you have more time to think. That downgrades their ability to attack you. The next thing, everybody has a different approach to how they do it. I spend a fair amount of time out in the field. You will never see in my signature that I'm in the field. You may see in my signature, and I may put out an email ahead of time that says, "I will not be available to answer my phone or reply to an email from this period to this period. All contact with me has to go through the company switchboard or has to go through our main offices." That does 2 things. First and foremost, it tells everybody that, yes, I can still be reached, but the only way I'm going to respond is it comes through the head office. What that does is it allows people at the head office to handle where you are, what you're doing. It also allows for them, if it's serious enough, to roll down the hill to me. I'm not saying that I'm not available, but they'll know whether or not I can be reached. There are times you have to use "I'm out in the field" announcements because there is nobody to track this. One of the best out in the field announcements I've ever heard from anybody is, "I will be spontaneously available through the day. Please leave detailed message with me and I will respond to you at my earliest convenience." This throws a loop into everybody because now you're totally unpredictable. I could call you back in 2 minutes. I can call you back in 10. I can call you back in 3 hours. I'll call you back in 5 hours. All these attacks all start with how to be somebody else in place of the actual person being there. And the more convincing I am, and the more information that I know that you're not available, or you're at a disadvantage to being able to make educated decisions, the more likely the attack's is going to work. For those that are parents, they've seen it. Mom's not in the room. Dad, can I have a cookie? Well, what did your mom say? Mom says I can if I ask you. But your mom's not even here. Yeah, she said before she left I could ask you, and if you said yes, I could have one. The more questions you ask the child, the more likely the story is about to fall apart. But if the child acts swiftly, well, child's probably walking away with the whole bag of Oreos, let's face it. Flip side of it. Mom, can I go ride my bike? Well, didn't your dad give you some work to do? Yeah, but he said I could do the work later. There's nobody to validate it. No way to second guess it. As a kid, think about how many times your well-laid plans fell apart because one parent asked another parent. And all of a sudden, oh, no, that's not what I said. That was not what was implied. When you create the ability to validate instructions through the second factor of authentication, and this isn't a multi-factor authentication on your phone, it's not a multi-factor authentication through an email or anything else. This is a multi-factor authentication from one person to another. Where AI is doing this is it's doing a lot of the heavy lifting that people used to have to do manually. And it's not helping. So people go, okay, how do I defend myself against this? Well, the number one rules that we've always said still apply. If you're out of office, something that has to be dealt with that's of a financial matter shouldn't be dealt with in an email, shouldn't be dealt with in a text. It should be dealt with by voice. And the problem with AI is that's gotten even technical now too, that they can deep fake so deep that they can mimic somebody's voice just from the word hello. They're able to get the mannerisms. So there needs to be security words in place. Security phrases, passphrases between people that if you're doing financial transactions that, hey, this phrase isn't included, we're not doing it. And as soon as you eliminate the electronic in between, you're going to be a lot safer.